Okay, my lovely Pilates friends, today I want you to grab a small ball, or it can be a rolled up towel, something that you'll be able to squeeze between your knees, and then also a blanket, or again, another towel would also work if you don't have a kind of nice sturdy little blanket nearby. You can grab it like a bath towel that you can roll up to use as well. So we're going to start with our breath work, and we're going to be connecting a lot of breath work to our core stability today. And this is the basis of all of our movements, whether you're in the Pilates or on the mat doing Pilates, or if you're just doing a regular, HIIT workout, a strength workout, you're picking up stuff from the floor, you're doing your laundry, you're doing whatever it is you do throughout your day. This is where you need to go, is to this bracing of your core in a way that's not going to throw everything else out of whack and off balance. So we're going to really focus on that and getting mobility through our ribs and taking full deep breaths in. So I'm going to have you just lying on one side to start. Now, if you need a prop for your head, go ahead and grab an extra pillow or a block. If you feel like you're more comfortable resting maybe on a blanket, if your floor is kind of hard, go ahead and do that. But I don't want you to be all off balance. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to kind of open that up so we've got a little comfort there. And if you want to rest your head on something other than your arm, go ahead and grab that. And we're going to come to a sideline position. So I just want you to bring your knees up and your heels kind of in line with your knees. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't matter that much there. And we're going to just recline over to that side. And now the ball for now, I'm just going to set it here off to the side. We don't need that just yet. Okay. So as we start to focus on our breath here, here's what I want you to really notice. Okay. We're going to take one hand over here on the side of your ribs. So what we're looking for is, I want you to, without thinking about it too much, go ahead and we're going to take a deep breath in through your nose. So I just want you to take what you would normally take as a nice deep breath in. And then notice, go ahead and exhale it out completely. And I want you to start to notice on these next couple of rounds, as you start to connect your breath, notice here, is your top hand moving up and down with your ribs, right? So I'm kind of intentionally just breathing into my belly, and only my chest and my belly are rising. There's not a lot of movement here on the side waist. So I'm right here on these floating ribs, right there on the side waist. And what I want you to do is try to breathe into that hand so this part of your waist expands. So take a breath in. See if you can expand all the way to your side waist, and now that top hip should drop down further rather than being rolled up towards your waist. And then exhale, blow it out through your mouth. And feel your ribs getting closer together, and your hip may sink down again closer to your rib cage from this position. All right, so I want you to breathe in again. Imagine that you're directing your breath into your side waist and into your back. Okay, fill it up, and then exhale, blow it out, and cinch your waist. Like you could push your rib cage back in. Blow it out until you have no breath left. So you should feel that warming up in your low belly as well. Okay, so deep breath, expanding, and then exhale. I'm going to try two more. I want you to watch it there. Make sure that you're really expanding on that side waist. Our chest is going to lift a little, but we don't want the shoulders rising and falling. Okay, let's take last one. Okay, very good. Now, I want you to take a breath in. I want you to keep the position. You can stay in this position without having to take another breath in and out. Okay, so just hold that position. Now exhale, but don't drop the rib cage. Just kind of brace the side waist. Keep the expansion you've created. And see if you can exhale while you're keeping this expansion right here. Okay, breathe in again. Feel like you got a little bit more expansion, and without dropping it, go ahead and exhale, but you do contract a bit. So we're still contracting. You should feel those ribs pulling away from your fingers, but not dropping your waist way down. Okay, we're going to try it again. Inhale. Exhale. So I've just got the thumb and the index finger kind of wrapped right here around the waist. Take one more. This is how we're going to get those obliques to really help to fire off as well. And exhale. So we're working on transverse abdominals, the muscles that wrap around from your front to your back and then from top to bottom. Okay, so they're your bracing muscles here. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and take that top hand, press it to the floor, straighten the top leg. And we're going to gently just kind of push yourself up really slowly, coming up. And we're going to flip over to the other side. And it's okay if you're still sitting there thinking, I don't know if I'm doing this right. The breath work takes time. Even if you've done a lot of breath work in the past or other types of practices, it can still take time. I'm going to take my ball as my pillow on this side. This shoulder gets a little cranky. Okay, so do what you need to do to make sure you feel pretty comfortable here. Okay, we don't want to stay in pain or discomfort while we're working with the breath. All right, so taking the top hand, wrapping that kind of thumb index around right there at the waist, okay, the high waist right there at the floating ribs. And we're going to inhale, try to inhale into your hands here. Okay, you're going to expand on that side waist. So you feel the ribs opening. It's like somebody pushed an umbrella up under your rib cage and they're opening it up all the way to your back, and then exhale, let it go. See, I notice on myself, I have more range of motion on this side. That's not an uncommon thing as well. We can address that later. Okay, but we're going to inhale. It just tells you where you might have restrictions. Okay, exhale it out. Again, breath in. Really focusing on filling in that side waist area. Exhale, let it out. 2 more. When you inhale, notice you could even take your opposite hand and rest it here on your shoulder, okay? So you don't want that shoulder coming up closer to your ear. Just your ribs opening, filling in all the way around your back. Exhale it out. Let's take one more just like this. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, now I want you to take that same breath in, expand all the way around, but you'll feel it here on the ribs. Get that filled in sensation right there. And now exhale without dropping the ribs completely in, but do feel like you could contract them a little closer together, okay? So exhale out. So what we're doing is we're going to keep the brace here. Okay, you're keeping your core braced, but we're still breathing within the brace. It's a little complicated, but we're going to work on it, okay? So inhale. Fill in all the way around, and then exhale without dropping the ribs all the way in. I want you to really think about your hip points kind of as though they could close in closer together, and you could pull everything up, okay? Again, inhale. Exhale it out. So we're going to get that natural release of your pelvic floor on the inhale. And then exhale, everything's going to pull up and in. Okay, last one. All right, just release that side. Okay, hand to the floor, straighten the top leg again. We're going to come up, we're going to go back over to the other side before we flip over onto the back. Okay, so coming all the way back over. So lying down here. So I'm just going to use that pillow again. It feels nice. All right, so want your knees kind of, you can use the edge of your mat as a guide. So knees coming up toward the edge of your mat. You can scoot your hips all the way back. So if you use your mat like a guide, it's very easy to see where you are. Okay, so my back is kind of even with the back of the mat. Knees are pulling up toward the front edge, what is now the front edge of the mat. And heels are also in line right here with that front edge. So you've got 90 degree here and 90 degree at your knees. Okay, this front arm underneath you, the arm that's underneath, just go ahead and leave it here. If you can take it out straight in front of you, that's fine, okay? So I just want your shoulders stacked and that arm to the front. You can rest your head on the ball or a block, pillow, whatever, okay? So we're going to take that same breath. Notice I've already got this dip down here in the ribs. So I'm going to take that breath like you're open or like you're clapping your hands. Go ahead and put your palms close together. Now take that breath in. Try to expand all the way around. Exhale it out. I want you to exhale until there's no breath, okay? We're going to add a little rotation so that we can open up the rib cage a little more. So on the inhale, open up, lift the arm, and just let it reach back toward the wall behind you. Inhale. And now exhale, bring it back to center and feel the rotation happening through your waist to close. Okay. Inhale, opening up, just gently rolling back, but your knees are staying together. Exhale. Okay, so inhale, opening. Exhale, bring it back to center and really feel the work of that exhale. You should feel your rib cage getting smaller. You've got a lot of energy happening through the waist. And then come back, open up, relax on that inhale. Exhale, start to cinch it in. Keeping your shoulders down. 2 more. Inhale, opening. And exhale, close. It's almost like you're pushing against something when your hand comes back. Okay, 1 more time. Inhale. So even here, so we've got this openness that's happening. Exhale. Like you're pushing against something as you bring that hand around. All right, very good. Okay, go ahead and place your hand down. Top leg straightens. This other arm can kind of lift up a little bit just so it's out of your way. And we're going to push back up. We're going to try that on the other side. So hopefully you're already feeling the obliques that did the work here, the side waist muscles that worked you in the rotation. Okay, so as you come back over, go ahead and bring your feet forward. Again, use the back of your mat as a guide. So your back is even against the back of the mat, knees are pulled up to the front, and your heels in line with the front, okay? That top hand right out from your shoulder here, so that it looks like you could clap your hands right in front of you. Okay? Even out the arms. So also notice that if you're kind of leaning back a little bit already, you're going to start engaging the muscles in your back. So what I want you to do is to shift that top arm forward so that now your fingertips are even. And that just means that we're just completely side lying here. Okay, so inhale, find that expansion, exhale and blow it out. Cinch the waist like a girdle. Okay. Inhale. Exhale. Now we're going to add rotation here. So you don't need to kind of really lean back in it too much. I just want you to open up what feels natural and just expand. Inhale. Exhale like you're pushing against something with your top hand as you're pulling it back to the front. Feel the muscles in your side waist working. Inhale, relax and open. Exhale. Inhale, release the tension. Exhale, bring it back. Push against it. Like there's something here imaginary that you're pushing against. You've got to brace that core and bring it down. Okay, 2 more. Inhale. Last one. Bring it back down. Good. Hopefully you could feel that right here in your side waist. When you pulled yourself back around, you could feel those obliques having to engage to finish that rotation back to the front. Okay, top hand to the floor, top leg straight. Gently press up. Always the safe way to get up. We're going to grab the ball. We're going to go over to a wall or something that you can place your feet on that's going to be steady and sturdy. I'm going to take the blanket or towel, whatever you may have, and roll that up. Same thing with your item that you're going to squeeze here. Okay, you're going to take that with you. We're going to come all the way, not all the way to the wall, so you may have to just kind of adjust. I'm going to set the blanket just off to my side for a second so that I can adjust where I need to be. Okay, so I want your feet on the wall and your knees in line with your hips. Okay? So we've got a 90-degree angle here. So heels in line with your knees, and then your knees in line with your hips here. Okay? Now we're going to take that blanket. We don't want it pushed up too high, but I am going to give it a little lift here just so that you're not rocking your head back. Okay? And you feel pretty comfortable there. We're going to take the ball and place it between the knees. Okay, so I'm not as low down as I may normally ask you to bring it down a little closer to your thighs. Today I want you to have that right at your knees. Okay, so also notice if you're someone who tends to kind of sway your back, I want you to draw your tail slightly under. This isn't a big tuck, okay, because we're not going to turn on the glutes here. I want them relaxed, but we're just going to kind of get this out of the way. There we go. So you can see better. All right. So we don't want a big tuck. And we also want to make sure though that we're not, over rounding to begin with. So I don't want you to push into the wall to try to lift your hips off the floor. All right. So just a very light sensation behind your back. And what you want to look for is right here at the bra line, you're pushing down into the rib cage. Okay. So not smashing your back down into the mat, but your mid back, your mid spine. So you feel right here at your hip or at your ribs right there at the base of your rib cage where they're floating and they separate and go down. So I want you to feel right there and see if they're kind of opening up. So are they kind of going like this, right? Are they making like more of a point? If you place your palms on them and your fingers go up, right, then you're probably like you got a little pyramid right here, then that means they're opening up. Okay, I want you to pull them down so that your fingers would interlace instead, so that your fingers would either overlap or interlace away from the ceiling. Okay, so we're going to keep that there. Now, so we can stay here, and you can use your hands as your guide again. I want you to take that breath in, so we should be relaxed. Before we go in, I want you to just jiggle everything around. Make sure your quadriceps are loose. Okay, out here on the thighs, that's all loose. Your glutes are loose. Your hip flexors are not working, all right? So we're not kind of grip with those hip flexors. Everything is relaxed and loose. The only thing that's working right now is right here. We're pushing down through the rib cage. Now, I want you to take that breath again. And see if you can feel the expansion that you've created in your side waist and in your back, okay, with your breath. And then exhale it out until it's all gone. So much so that you might even find a little cough at the end. Keep going. There's more in there. Squeeze it out. Shoulders are back. And there should be a little shaking that could happen there at the very end. Okay, just relax. Whew. Okay. Now, there could be a little bit, it feels like there's a little tension, a little shaking that might happen at the very, very end, because you are expelling every last drop of breath out of these lower lobes of your lungs. And this is one of the reasons we want those ribs pliable. We want them to open, not just to the sides, but to the back body. All right, so those lower lobes can fill with oxygen, and then we're going to squeeze them out. Okay, so inhale to the sides and behind you. Now exhale, blow it out. And release. All right, you should feel that mid-spine pushing toward the mat, okay, without any big arch here and without having to smash your low back into the mat, because we don't want to contract those glutes. It's just a nice light sensation behind your low back. All right, now we're going to squeeze the ball with that action. You can continue to have hands on ribs, but I'm going to place hands right here on the inner thigh, so if you want to follow along, I'm going to make sure that both the inner thighs are engaging the same intensity. Okay, so when we squeeze the ball with the knees, I want you to feel what's happening here on the inner thighs. Okay, so inhale, exhale, now squeeze and blow it out. If you feel like one of your thighs is engaging more than the other, and it probably is, I want you to put more focus into the side that's not engaging as much. See if you can get it a little bit more work. And release. All right, so we're not trying to squeeze our butt. We shouldn't even be able to in this position, all right? We're not trying to clench or anything. All right, so we're just squeezing that ball, and we're working on those inner thigh and core connection. Okay, so inhale. Exhale, squeeze. Every last drop of breath is out. And then release. Now, as we continue moving forward, because we will end with a little more movement here in a little bit, but we're still working on that prep. So I want you to make sure that your head is lifted enough. We don't want to cock the chin forward too much, but I do want to lift it up enough that I can easily kind of lift up, and I'm going to be able to look down at the belly. Okay, so right here, and you might even just lift your head a little bit, okay, off of your blanket. I'm trying to get mine in the right position. It's not working. All right, so I may have to roll that up a little more. Okay. So we're going to look down at the belly here. Okay. So deep breath in. Squeeze the ball. Pull those ribs down. Start to cinch everything in as you exhale. I want you to slightly lift your shoulders if you need to first, and then look down. As you're exhaling, is your belly doming up? Once you started to lift your shoulders a little bit, did that belly dome up? And if so, I want you to just pull it back down. Keep exhaling out, okay? So now you know where you're going. I'm going to bring it down. So it's just this little lift, and I cannot get my lift just right today. Okay, we're going to try it one more time. All right, because you are going to lift your shoulders a little bit, okay? Here we go. All right, because we want to add this little extra flexion that's happening. And when we do so, what's happening to the lower part of your abdominals? Do you lose it? Right? Because if you lose the connection with your transverse abdominals, the TAs, the muscles that wrap around like a girdle, which are the ones that keep us supported, then that's going to dome up and we've lost the connection, this is when we get in trouble and our back and our hamstrings and our neck hurt. All right. So I want you to inhale. And exhale, squeeze the ball. Start blowing it out now. If you can just float those shoulders up, even if it's with the hand of support, look down and notice, are you trying to flatten that space out or is it trying to dome up? Right? Pull it in, but squeeze everything to center. It should get flatter and flatter. No, I don't care what you think your abs actually look like. Rest it down. If you're like, but my abs are not flat, it doesn't matter. Whatever you have going on in your midsection, we want it to start to feel like it's getting more evened out rather than, and you can feel it with your hands, okay, rather than doming up, right? So we don't want to push up. All right, let's try it again. Inhale, squeeze the ball, blow it out, float the shoulders, everything's coming into center. Rest back down, but I want you to keep the brace. Keep the brace, keep the brace. Don't lose the brace. The brace means if someone were going to punch you in the stomach right now, you had to brace yourself. That's what you would do, right? You would brace. So keep the brace. Take a breath. We're going to breathe into the brace. And now exhale. Float the shoulders slightly up. Squeeze the ball. Keep the brace. Lower back down. Inhale. So this is when we're working kind of eccentrically as well. We're resting back, but we're still working the abs when we're trying to release. Now we're engaging deeper, lifting up, blowing out. Don't worry, you can always support your head here if you need it. We probably feel a little shaking. And lower back down. I want you to take 2 more like this. Don't get in a hurry. Inhale. Hold it here. Exhale. This is all flattening out. Get every last drop of breath out. Lower back down. Don't let those ribs pop open. That's the connection. Okay, right here. Ribs and hips. Inhale. Exhale. You can reach toward the wall. And then bring it back down. Awesome work. I just want you to relax a second. Release that ball. Draw your knees into your chest. If you have something under your head, let's just rest it off to the side and take a little kind of side to side with your knees and rock it around. All right. So we're going to come back into the, not in the sideline. We're going to take a reclining position, but I want you to roll over first. We're going to reposition ourselves. Okay. Pressing up, back, gently up. And you can still face any direction you prefer. I just like to take it this way whenever I'm working. All right, we're going to move this out of the way. Okay, so we're going to recline back. And if when you are reclining, I don't want that big bowl, the big roll up underneath your head. But if when you recline back, your chin kicks up toward the sky and your shoulders are kind of rounded, first I want you to pull your shoulders back. And then just put something very kind of level and not too bulky underneath your head, just to keep your ears in line with shoulders, okay? Now, if that's not something that you're worried about or it feels fine when you're here and you feel like you're in alignment, go ahead and just have the head flat on the floor. It's your choice. Okay, so from here, we're going to do what we're going to first level dead bug. Okay, so all we're going to do is focus on keeping this sensation. Now, this is not a big tuck. Right? So oftentimes we'll go, tuck your tail. I'm not tucking the tail. I'm neutral. You feel even pressure across your sacrum. Your real big focus is pulling the rib cage down. So that's what we want pressing into the floor. Okay? So that's pushing into the floor. Everything else will fall into place. All right? So I want you to have your arms down by your sides unless you like to have that connection with your hand across your ribs. Take a breath in, keep your shoulders relaxed. Feel the expansion behind you, and then exhale it out. Every last drop of breath. Now we're going to start to add a little movement. All right, so inhale. I want you to pick up the left foot, exhale. Release, inhale. Now don't release the whole contraption that you have working here. So if you release completely, hips are gonna rock forward. I want you to pull that rib cage down, hold it there, okay? Then inhale, exhale, pick up the right foot. Bring it back down. Inhale, exhale. Bring it down, inhale, exhale right, inhale, exhale left, let's do it 2 more, inhale, exhale right, should feel a lot of work happening just in your midsection here. 1 more. Those hip flexors ideally are not going to be feeling the work, okay? Ideally. Doesn't mean that that's happening yet, but ideally it's not because just your hip flexors are working. You're supporting yourself with your core. Now I'm going to ask you now to take your right leg and shift it down the mat. Inhale. Away from you. And now exhale, just pull it back to where you started. Okay, without rocking those hips. Let's do it again. Left side, inhale, reach out. Slowly out, nothing changes here. Exhale. Shoulders back, relax. Okay, inhale, right leg goes out. Exhale. All right, 1 more, inhale. Exhale. Relax. Notice how everything just kind of springs open when you completely relax. Go ahead and just kind of shake out your feet, knees sway side to side. We'll do 1 last little movement that we'll work on together. Okay, so again, you can always support your head, but ideally what we're working on is that I want you to focus on the support of your core, because your core will support your neck, right? If you tap in deep enough to your core, it's going to support your neck. That's our intention. Right? So shoulders back and down, feet away from your glutes, from your sit bones. And pull the rib cage down. Inhale. Exhale, float the shoulders. Just like when you were at the wall. Okay, bring it back down. Inhale, but I want you to keep the brace. Keep the brace, don't let it pop up. Inhale. Exhale, lift. Inhale. Now we can add that little kind of march that we created before. Exhale, lift. So it shouldn't be a strain from your neck. That's why if you need a pillow behind you, because we don't want the head flopping back, okay, that's okay. Exhale, other side. I want you to find all that same focus from when we very first began here. Inhale. Exhale. Neck stays long and neutral, so you're gazing wherever your wall meets the ceiling across from you. Inhale. Exhale, engage. Good job. We're going to take 1 more each side. Inhale. Exhale, up. And give me 1 more. Inhale. And back down. And rest. All right, very good. Reach the arms out, take the legs out, and shake everything. So we should feel, actually, I do a lot of core work, but I'm feeling that right here. I'm really feeling the burn. Okay, so hopefully you're feeling the burn there just from really focusing on your breath work and the engagement of those deeper muscles, okay? We're gonna rock over to one side. Again, gently coming up. And then as you come back to center, let's just meet here. So let's sweep the arms up, deep breath in. And then exhale over to one side. Stretch out that side waist. Inhale, coming up. Exhale to the opposite side. Let's take a little seated twist. Turning to one side gently. Back to center, inhale. Exhale to the opposite side. Back to center. I want you to take a big deep breath in. And exhale, bring it all down right here to center. Give yourself a little bow for showing up today, for focusing on you and your own self-care. Thanks for being here.